Hello again. This is Marshall Sanders. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you again for joining me rather. This is an unscheduled video, but before I start on some work today, um, I had thought I would just go through my emails today, or at least on my Facebook posts. Again, please join me. You can look up my name at Marshall H. Sanders on Facebook, and please send me comments, send me invites, send me information to help me learn. Any questions you may have, you're welcome to do so, or join us at American Patriots Against Tyranny. It is a website that is also on Facebook. Please let us know that one of these videos have inspired you to do so I know to sign you up quickly as opposed to put you through the usually rather stringent process of filtering people who sign up, because we have a lot of undesirables who really aren't there to unite people, but rather to criticize and also to cause division. And the one thing we do not need is either division or those who want to criticize without any intent to put us all together as one people. Now, what I want to comment on real quick is something, and I have wanted to do this later in this series, but I thought it. I just feel inspired to do it. Some of this right now. Uh, Many people talk about something, and I'm going to say it, and I hope it. I know it's a trigger word to many whites, and please moderate yourself to hear what I'm saying before this triggers you. I know there's many who will watch this and are not triggered at all. You're you're far more mature than that. You're better people than so many others. Maybe even better than myself. But for anyone like who really is giving this series a great chance to actually explain some things that are helping, that are hurting rather, all of us from uniting. This is what I'm going to call it. It's what I'm going to call it is white guilt. Now, I know that many of you are going to go, well, you have an immediately reaction about that, especially if you're white. You feel, and I'm not saying this is everyone, please don't misstate it that way. You're thinking, well, that triggered me a little. You're thinking, hey, and you've been told a certain what that means. You've kind of given the answer to what that means, which is actually untrue. And that's why I wanted to speak with you and ask that you not be triggered by it. I'm gonna explain what I mean by white guilt, and I believe that this is gonna help explain some things that go on inside of you um, when you hear things like that or when you feel certain things. I'm inspired by two things today to make this video. One was from someone who I now admire. I've never met this person. This person has only commented one time, but it was about roughly a month ago. Pardon me. Roughly a month ago, this gentleman and I were watching a video together, not in person. Right? Again, I never met this person, but we were both watching a YouTube video, obviously. And it was a old interview on Malcolm X. And Malcolm X was much more militant, had a very wise man, and he really told a lot of truth to people. And there's also things I greatly disagree with him on. But for the things that I agree with him, there's a reason why he's considered such a great leader, and even today is revered for being so. He spoke a remarkable amount of truth, articulately, openly, and he faced that white matrix that he wanted to tear down. Now, I digress. This gentleman actually, the only reason I know of this person because this person commented on a video that we have both watched. And Malcolm X has said in the video, basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, how whites don't even understand what's going on in themselves when they're walking down the street. and a guy and a girl walking with his white girlfriend, and the black man is walking, and he immediately gives the black man a look. You want to know what's so scary about that? When I saw that video, just really quickly, every black man I know of that I've ever met knows what he means 50 something years later, 60 years later, nearly, know exactly the look that he's referring to. He didn't even explain after that. Every black man knows that look that we have gotten from a white person, at least one, that was that look. You're trying to steal my girl. I gotta protect her. But not because you was looking over his girlfriend or even that you were really looking at her. But there's an instinctive, I gotta protect her. And it's not based on anything except your perception of what they perceive of you, which is generally your skin color. Sure, there are other things that individual now, again, we're talking about an individual. They could have looked at that because a former black guy was once sleeping with their girlfriend. Again, I'm not talking about the individual. There are reasons why some people would do that, and they should do that, to be honest, because there are some rather evil and some manipulative black people as there are with white people in any other race. The point I'm trying to make, however, without beating around, was that this guy, after watching the video, commented, and he's basically said, you know what? I did that the other day. He said, I recognized that in myself. That even though the black guy was never at any time looking at my girlfriend, or I'm walking down the street and I'm just by myself and I see the black guy, and just from the color of his skin, I can be having a great day, and I immediately stiffen just because I see a black person. And he says, I don't want to be that way. I want to know what's wrong with me that I'm doing this. And so that guy actually inspired me to make these videos in the first place. Men of integrity. I mean, really, I can almost tear up right now. Men, just men, forget the race. Men of integrity. Saying, I have a weakness. I hate that weakness. Man, I hate that weakness. I hate that I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, and I want to get rid of that wrong. But I just don't know how to. I just don't know, first of all, what is wrong with me. And secondly, I don't know how to get rid of it. And he actually inspired me in great part to really not just procrastinate another month as I've been doing for 2 years, and simply make these videos to explain what's going on in the person. Because God knows I don't want to condemn or sit here and call every person a racist. I think after watching my videos, and hearing what we say and hearing me speak to you, unedited, not planned, just talking to you, you know what my heart is. I want reconciliation. I want repentance. I want one family, the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve, to be the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve together. Okay? That's my aim. And I'm going to say it in every single video. My aim is to make many people one. Because that's what we really are. Okay? So the second video, that the reason why I wanted to do this so quickly was I had some work again to do very soon on a tight schedule today. But here's a gentleman who I do not think is racist. I will repeat again, I do not think he's racist. But I can definitely say he's part of the white matrix. And I'm going to read this to you. Excuse my little reading here because my contacts appear to be kind of weird today. And it's my reading is not very well at today, not because of my lack of reading skills, but rather my contacts appear to be giving me 2 to 3 different lines and blurring out for whatever reasons when they're normally very good. But please follow me. And this is a Facebook post that I received today. Now, I want you to remember that the video I posted beforehand, and if you look in the description, you'll see a quote that I received from Abraham Lincoln that in parts goes this. Let me read this to you. Because, and the reason why I'm reading this to you is so that you, if you have not saw the other video, you at least see this one and understand what triggered this man. Okay? And this is what I have to deal with this, and the how bad the white matrix is in so many people. So for you two, the one very great man of character who inspired me to actually put pen to paper, if you will, or voice to video, and for this person whom I saw this reply to today, uh, I'm basically making this video for you now. So this is what I put this in a caption quote on Facebook, and this is in part what Lincoln said. Now understand, Lincoln, of course, is known as the person who freed the slaves and who wanted to free the slaves, right? Neither of which is necessarily true at all. Otherwise, we would not be talking about such slavery aspects today. However, let's delve into this really quickly, if you do not mind. And I thank you again for bearing with me. For those who I started with saying the white guilt thing, I want you to see something. Then I'm going to explain this, and this is the whole point. The whole point was not to call you out or be mean to you, was to explain what's going on inside the person when we're talking about white guilt, and not what people have been told you about white guilt. Calling you racist or kind of thing like that. No, this is not about calling you names. This is about helping you to understand what's going on within yourself. So let me read and stop procrastinating. Now, I posted a video, a link that said this in part. This is Abraham Lincoln's direct quote, and this is also a part of it. I will say then that I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. That I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of the making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. This, of course, is a man who we've been told um, is a person that we should revere. We've made a monument to him about his character. We even call him, listen to this, Honest Abe. I'm pausing for effect. Honest Abe, and known for his character. And to read what you and to hear what I've just read, I should say. Who would call this a person of character, of good character rather? And why would we as a people, black or white, revere such a person as that? I want you to honestly think about that question. For those who this question was meant for, whom I was talking about, those who have the white guilt thing that can't really explain it, but you're not racist. And for the most part, I agree, you're not racist. That's why I'm making this video about the white matrix and not racism. They're two different things. Okay, so for those who think that we as people of color and even whites should go, wait, what? Why are you making a hero of a liar, bigot, racist, demonic guy? And he's supposed to be the leader of our country. He can set the example that others can follow. But he makes sure you know, oh, no, 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 no. They're nothing to me. They're not even second-class citizens. But whom we actually call a hero, even put monuments in his name. I want you to think about it from a person of color's perspective on that. This man hates me and doesn't even consider me human. He doesn't consider me to be a son or daughter, or whatever, of Adam and Eve. He considers me to be a beast of the field. Okay? Now, here's the reply I received. I don't want to give this guy's name out, but if you are watching this, Elvis, I'm going to use his first name. That's it. Elvis, this is not made to call you out. This is made to uh, identify someone who needs help. So I want them to applaud you also for having the integrity to actually ask questions, but also to show an example, I should say, of the white matrix in our communications. So I'm gonna say, so now this is about Abraham Lincoln and his racism. And what I put as a title was "Time to Bring It All Down." The white matrix is finished, and I do hope that the white matrix is finished and needs to be, because it needs to be torn down as a barrier between our people, all people, that is. Now, this was his reply. What about Omar's unpatriotic rhetoric? Does it matter she hates this country, or maybe some of you would rather have her alternate instead of being responsible for the leadership in your world and a lack of initiative on your part? You sit here looking at the past to blame for your present situation. Wake up. Your chains and shackles are self-imposed. I'm going to read that again because I had read that and I had missed one or two things there. And this is actually worse, far worse than I thought. It says, what about Omar's unpatriotic rhetoric? I guess he's talking about Representative Omar. She's a Muslim, and so her people have been persecuted very much by the white matrix. Not to say any Muslim has never done anything wrong, but simply put, uh, it's rhetoric more than fact. Let's be honest. It says, does it matter she hates this country? Or maybe some of you would rather have her alternate. Instead of being responsible for the leadership in your world and a lack of initiative on your part, you sit here. I mean, I guess it says I sat here, but I guess he means sit here, looking at the past to blame for your present situation. Wake up. Your chains and shackles are self-imposed. That, brothers and sisters of every race in every corner of the world, is one seriously deep hole in the white matrix. I literally don't believe that a person can be deeper in the white matrix and what is really white guilt than this. Now understand, I post 200 posts or some. I post anywhere from 10 to 200 posts every single day of videos on various subject matters. Very few of them are on presidents or even the past. Okay. And knowing that I'm doing this video series about the past so we can understand the future, so we can understand how we got here, so that we can unravel the things that we've gotten to, the situation we've gotten to. It is incumbent upon us to address the past so we can have a future. That's just how it goes. Common sense, if a person is in their right mind, would say, why are we talking about the drug addiction of a person from 5 years ago when we're trying to decide the sobriety of today? Anybody would say, well, of course, because they were the person under the influence of drugs 5 years ago. So if we're talking about a crime committed today, right, uh, of saying someone broke into certain location, which was an old stomping ground of this person, where they used to buy drugs. They broke in there and they got some drugs, and this person was known to have done the same behavior in the past. You're almost gonna say, hey, look, I'm not saying you did it, but this is your something called your modus operatus. This is something that you used to do. So the reason why the cop generally, and he should be doing differently, but I'm saying that the reason why the cop or police department goes to former criminals to check and see if they uh, committed the present crime is because they say this fits your MO, modus operatus, which means, hey, you've done this in the past. Therefore, because you've done this in the past, it isn't simply just the crime that was done. It's the way in which the crime was done, the location in which the crime was done, perhaps even a physical or otherwise description in which the crime was done, that has us questioning you because of the past. We knew what you did and how you did and such things, which is called, again, the MO. But this person, Elvis, is going, why are we talking about the past? His biggest complaint. And not only that, you notice that he attacks me with this? Just really, think about this. He just attacks me, saying, instead of being responsible for the leadership in your world and a lack of initiative on your part, you sit here looking at the past to blame for your present situation. I guess me making these videos and trying to help people is not being responsible for my leadership in the world and my lack of initiative. I guess I have no lack of initiative. This is a person that comments that never posts, that criticizes and never provides any solutions. But because of one quote, one truthful quote on the intent of a white racist bigot, who we historically call, who we call a hero, who is really a villain. Okay, let's put it that way. He wants to attack me and then throw absolute lies in his white guilt. And that's what we're going to right today, right? The white guilt. And I hope you can see exactly what this is right now, by now. It's white guilt. So remember I said I promised that I would explain what white guilt is, what's really going on there. White guilt is the white matrix. I'm going to repeat that. White guilt is the white matrix. Well, hey, elaborate, Marshall. I will. The white matrix, as I've been trying to explain you and get you into, is the understanding of the illusionary world. Think of the movie The Matrix. For those who have seen it, you understand what I mean. For those who have not, it's basically an illusionary world in which people lived in. And, they did everything else that we do in this world. Struggle, they do well, such other things. Except for they found out that the world they were in, they were actually asleep and being used as batteries for machines. When in the real world, where they were being hunted down because they held something that was very dangerous to the Matrix, which is facts and reality. Reality is very scary for people. You see, there's a reason why, and I'm including myself. I mean, understand. I can look at my sickness and that's why I take my treatment, and I can get cured of something just like you can take treatments to get well better and then to be cured of it. It's a process that I've gone through and continue to go through, I think, with regard to get out of the right matrix in every possible conceivable way. But the white guilt being a part of the white matrix, I'm sorry, the white the white your being rather, the white matrix. It's not you being a racist. It's just that you have a perception of reality and that you really comfortable with. Even the the hardship. It's like being an abused wife. You may call up your girlfriends every day and complain about how this guy's beating you. And by the way, I was in that situation with my parents, um, sadly. But I digress. But at the same time, you stay because a part of you kind of like it, or you're comfortable. I wouldn't say you just so you love it or anything, but rather you're comfortable in it. And just out there, even though out there is much better, it scares you. It utterly scares you. So when whites, like I just posted and just spoke about concerning this one quote about Abraham Lincoln, see that it is utter terror to you. White guilt is really the terror that the matrix will be torn down because it's something that you know is not real. You're White people are not stupid. You're not stupid at all. Rather, in fact, you have to be rather intelligent to actually invent and live in and dwell in such a fake sense of reality. You're not stupid at all. This has nothing to do with your lack of an intellect. This has nothing to do with your ability to be right or wrong. It has nothing to do with your being a racist or a person who loves blacks. It doesn't even matter at that point. Your white guilt is that when you see any element of reality, it instantaneously threatens the reality that you created, even though it's an illusion. It's why we invent Santa Claus, right? It's why rather than spend a day and being quote unquote boring and just holding the hand of a loved one, you know, just sitting at the dock of a bay fishing, being quiet, just being a human being without any activity. That makes us the most nervous, including me. Again, I'm out of the matrix, but there's still a draw. It's like having drinking something, been eating something for a long period of time, and you've been eating for so long, but you know it's bad for you, so you stop eating it, but you still have a little attraction to it. That's kind of the situation that I am. I know it's bad, but I still kind of have that draw from time to time. So we go to movies, we go and watch a movie on some imaginary situation. If you're the woman, you know you're not getting the real reality, not of romance, but of love. So you conflate you conflate a movie with Brad Pitt and say, "Oh, I wanted the tall, dark Hampson." You got a shorter, you got a shorter, lighter, and not so as much handsome as a Brad Pitt sitting in your living room, who's faithful, good man, whom deserves a woman who loves him, and vice versa, of course. But the pull of the Matrix is, but I have to go deeper into the Matrix, deeper into more illusion. I got to find more reasons to stay, to fight for this Matrix reality, and that it not be disturbed. So we go to the movies and we watch a romantic scene, and now you have women running around thinking that a romantic scene is something. So we got to invent other things. We got to invent a Valentine's Day, a day to love someone. That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in the history of the world. Well, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in the world. It's up. It's one. It's it's in the top. It's in the top 5%. You have to make a day in which to be motivated to love someone who already deserves your love. That's ridiculous. I mean, I should hope one day to get married. I'd hope many years ago to get married, but I couldn't imagine. I tell my wife if uh, If I ever got married, and I hope I do, but I don't know. I'm not so sure one way or the other. But I would tell her, look, on the day I stop loving you, or demonstrating that, or showing that, then you know what? I'm gonna give you every single thing I have, including the clothes on my back, and you're gonna get all of that, and you find yourself somebody that actually want to give you what you deserve. Because I'm a jerk if I gotta wait for a day to love you. That's utterly ridiculous. The concept to me is utterly ridiculous, and I'm sorry that offends some people, but some things you need to be offended on. Stop that. If you really want to come out of the matrix, stop trying to look for an excuse to love someone. Love is its own initiation. Just do it. Like a Nike commercial, right? Just do it. Because it's the absolute best thing imaginable. So, I digress. But that white matrix and that white guilt, it's not because you're, generally speaking, of course, almost, I'm not saying every single person, but this is pretty much almost all people that have that white guilt tinge. That white guilt, the feeling, I should say, that white guilt feeling is not, and this is to that gentleman who I have great respect for that asked about what's going on. It's not because you're going, oh, I had you in slavery and chains. I didn't mean to do it, and you're not, 200 and something years old. You didn't do that. You're not 400 years old. You're not even 110 years old, where slavery was still very much prominent, despite them saying it stopped. It did not stop until about 66 or something in that general area, just in a different form. Okay, but I digress again. I'm doing too much digressing, but okay. But your guilt is not for that. You did none of that. Why would you have guilt for something that you did not do? Of course. And anybody, black or otherwise, to tell you should be guilty of that is utterly ridiculous. I'm not going to apologize for the black race, if you will. You you have a people that's basically PTSD in the most extreme aspect, and your ancestors. I'm not saying all your ancestors because some of you had zero to do with slavery. And then you have to address all the white people who helped against slavery. So just because you're white, it doesn't include you at all in the slavery process. Please understand that. You may not even came here until 1920s, as one person mentioned. I'm not even referring to you. I'm not responsible for your assumptions though either. If I'm addressing this and you assume that's what I'm saying, I'm not responsible for that. You can always ask me and I can comment and we can clarify it. I don't care if you're wrong. Just ask. I'll give you clarification on something that you may or may not be confused on. Please do. In fact, I ask you to. I will gladly clarify, and I won't criticize you. Ask me. We're brothers and sisters. We can talk to each other. Okay? So, the person who's feeling that tinge, the guilt is not on, oh, I feel guilty about those things, or I did something. No, the guilt is this. I know that that is reality that you people of color are going through. I know that this system is destroying not just you guys. It's not even just destroying people of color. It's destroying us. I have white friends. I told you 90% of my friends are white, especially those who are in this country that are white. Most of my friends are out of the country, but I digress. But the white friends I have in this country, they even see that the system has come from them now and has been for a long period of time. Whites who just their grandparents had a great job and they were wealthy and they could buy whatever they wanted to, from generally speaking, 45, 50 years ago, and now they can't afford their own home. They're probably getting kicked out of their own house. The grandkids are living with the grandparents. I mean, the grandchildren are living with the grandparents. Their wealth was taken away. And I can tell you when that started. That started back, I believe, in 1913. Did you know that that whites included, right? They stole half the wealth in 40 and made the Americans, whites and others, give up all their gold and then devalued the money that they exchanged for the gold. So you lost half your wealth in less than 40 days. I'm gonna say that again. You lost half your wealth in less than 40 days. You know where you lost it to? The white matrix. The white matrix affected you to the point, and your ancestors, to the point because instead of deal with the reality and say, wait a minute, our country is going rogue, the tyranny, it's all the tyranny. No, we're going to go into reality. We will not allow the seduction of the white matrix to prevent us from facing reality. But instead, they capitulated, and it's bad even for people that are not of color. So it's bad for all of us now. Well, not all of us, but anything other than the top 10% kind of aspect. And it's going to get worse for them too. Trust me. The news is not going to spare anyone. And so I hope I'm addressing this well for you to understand. That's why you have that little ping in you, sir, good sir. That's why this guy Elvis wants to fight. We're impinging on your reality. And just the thought that your reality is wrong is something that you already know. And you're afraid, it's fear to address what you already know because it's way on that side of reality. So that's why I wanted to make this video while it was in my mind. I didn't want to get this deep into this because I didn't want to offend, but I just felt it had to be the best time. Just go ahead and just put it out there. You need to hear it. Those guys need to hear it. And I think some of you may need to hear it. This is about learning the things that's going on. Now, here's the good thing about it. Next time you see that black man, young man, you got your arm around your girlfriend, you see that black man, right? Train yourself to do this. Put your arm around what I assume is that lovely lady, hopefully that you want to spend your life with, and look that black man straight, square in the eye. Give him a fist pump. Or, what's up, brother? And let him know, not only that you aren't afraid, you're going, hey, brother, I got a good one, don't I? Because instead of your fear on somebody you don't even know and having that white guilt that's irrational just because you want to maintain your matrix, why don't you look at the person who really deserves your attention next to you and say, I see nothing else but someone I love. So therefore, I can't look at someone else that I'll somehow fear. So again, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to take a portion of your time with this video. And once again, shalom to you, peace to your family, to you, peace to your minds, to all of you who are going through this, what we call the white guilt syndrome. My hearts are with you, my words are with you. I open the door for any communication with you if this wasn't plain enough. And just let me know. And guess what? We all need medicine. Whatever the medicine is that's going to cure us. That's what we want to take. Shalom.